Good morning, everybody.
Hello.
We've had a fantastic week out there. Welcome to So You Want to Be a Day Trader. It's going to be a bit of an interesting episode, actually, because we've had a lot that's transpired in the last week. And one of the reasons, if there is anyone tuning in, that you can't see us at the moment is that unfortunately, YouTube is giving us a constant error, just saying that YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain a smooth streaming. We are using OBS to broadcast, but we're broadcasting, over 2,000 kilobytes a second. However, when we put our camera on, that is dropping down to basically giving us a kind of red and orange indicator. So we've decided that we're not going to put it on the webcam, which probably doesn't really matter too much. You're probably happy about that, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No makeup, no fit today.
Yeah, that's it. We probably don't need to see
Greasy
us
hair.
anyway. Greasy hair as well. Yeah. So it's Saturday morning here in Echuca, and we've got the kids are here, chilling out in the background.
Hello.
Oh, and audible as well. Thanks for that chiming in. And I've got it's been a good week.
Your mum's here?
Well, I wasn't going to mention that, but she's popped around for a visit, which is very nice. Don't know if she's interested in being on the podcast, but we'll put that there anyway.
No one cares what we're doing on a Saturday anyway.
Yeah, probably not on
If
a
you're
Saturday.
okay or not.
Doesn't really matter too much. Anyway, just as usual, guys, we want to welcome anyone that is listening. Hey, here's Benjamin Kirkby. Shout out to Benny Kay, who's listening in on the live stream. Our definitely our most consistent viewer out there. We've been involved in a back and forth with Benny Kay, especially on the trading game. If anyone's got that app, we've been basically making some gut feels, some gambling moves. Benny's definitely the best gambler of the lot of us. I'm really trying to just make some consistent gains. Sophia's actually dipped in this week, and it's been wild moves from Benny Kay, and it's always fun to get his messages with the screenshot. It's been a bit of a highlight through the week while we've been still fairly social distancing, still pretty much. Hey.
Loving it, actually.
Yeah, loving it. Oh, jeez. We've got like I said, a bit of a different episode this time around. It's good. We did have a good week trading. One thing that I really did like about this week was definitely stayed consistent with the plan, which was nice from my point of view, and that was a real goal of mine this week, which was really good. But still have researched a hell of a lot of things out there. And we may be making a change to our format. I'm still committed to doing definitely the live streams and basically a vlog, or at least kind of more like a podcast kind of thing, where we're going to change our kind of our system a little bit. Well, not just a little bit, like quite a bit. And there's a few reasons around that. But firstly, before we go, just want to say anyone that is listening to this or hasn't been on our live streams before, welcome. And everyone that's continuously listening, hello again. And we have a disclaimer. We are definitely not financial advisors. We don't give any financial advice at all, and we don't recommend that you follow what we're doing. We're absolutely beginners with trading. Any losses that you might incur by trying to follow us, we certainly, it's not our fault. We're not taking any liability whatsoever, so we've got to be careful with that. Anyway, with that out of the way, this week for me was a lot more of a slower week, and hopefully our desktop is still going to stream fairly well. So we wanted to show you this one as well. Now my week this week started, here there was only 2 trades that I actually entered this week, and the good thing about the trading this week for me was that I definitely stuck to the rules that I wanted to. We did our start of week assessment. We had our pairs cut up. So I'm doing the pound, the Aussie, and also the Canadian pairs. And Sophia had the Euro, the New Zealand, and the US pairs. And I was pretty strict this week. I thought, look, after my start of the week assessment and getting a long-term kind of picture on how I felt the momentum was going, that I'm going to stick with that. I'm definitely going to only set alerts and only take trades when our EMA 50 line and the pivot point lined up, and it gave me some kind of price action in the direction that I wanted to trade. So I was pretty happy with that. The results were mixed. As you can kind of see here, I did enter a trade with the pound Canadian, and that got stopped out. So that was a $97 loss. And then I took a trade with the Canadian yen, also short, and that ended with a $99 win. So overall, a $2 profit for this week on 2 trades. I was a lot happier about this though, because let's have a look at the chart for the pound Canadian especially. And now this is our journal for anyone that wants to kind of read through everything that we're doing. We are doing this every time we take a trade. Every week we do an assessment on our pairs, so you can really go through what we're thinking. Now, this was the order here. All the particulars, and that happened on the 21st at, what's that? Is that 9 o'clock, Sophia? 24-hour time? Yeah, 9 o'clock at night on the 21st. So let's go back to the chart. 9 o'clock, 21st of May. Here, just here, which was good. And I had a short bias, like a selling bias on this one. If we look at the daily chart, I was really looking at my indicators. It looked like the momentum was still going down. This was in a downtrend, which was nice. I think I wrote some notes that I just got to be careful of a swing low if it was going to pull back at all. So thought, okay, we've got downward momentum, no worries. I'm going to take a trade on the hourly. If I get the EMA 50 and a pullback from the pivot point, which occurred here, you can see this nice long candle formation here, and then it pulled back and moved away. So I took the trade here, and I put my stop loss somewhere up here, and I was hoping that price was going to continue in a downward momentum. Now the good thing was that at that point the MACD was still below the histogram. We did have a cross up, but the RSI at this point as well was hovering around 50. So I was okay with this trade, and then it didn't go my way at all, reversed up, took out my stop loss, and it's still kind of hovering about that and come back down. So the good things for me was that I actually stuck to the plan this time. I only entered the trade when these met. I was really patient. I was moving my alerts every single day through the week, even though I've been looking into a lot of other things. So to me, that was following the plan. So happy to take that loss. I really can't say much else about it. Then my other trade, which was the Canadian Japanese yen. Look at the chart again, Canadian Japanese yen. Now I had a selling bias on this one as well, on the hourly, and this one I took the trade here. So I had the bias overall. If I look at the daily, it was the same thing. So we had, to me, I had downward momentum. We had no higher high established, and we were making a lower low. So it was still below our EMA 50. So I thought, okay, this is coming up to meet this. Excuse me. We're moving with some downward momentum. So if we really did have upward momentum, then it's not going to give me these signals. So I went back to my hourly. This dipped below the EMA 50, which is great. It came back up. We saw some price action away, which was great. Now I took the trade, I think, on this candle. And I had the MACD below the histogram, underneath the signal line, and the RSI wasn't actually pushing to over this 30% mark. It was still, where were we? It was still here. And I took the trade here and traded that down and actually got a win, which was good. And this one, yeah, went the way that I was hoping. So again, regardless of the result, I was pretty happy that I actually stuck to the plan this week, and that was the goal. So break even on it. And out of my pairs, the 16 pairs, and I was following the hourly chart, I only really had 2 opportunities where the EMA 50 and the pivot point actually met together. So that's what I was looking for. That's what I was hoping to get into. Now, Sophia, do we want to go into your account and have a look at the trades
Yeah.
executed?
Okay. It's not much because on Wednesday
Wednesday, yeah.
we've been participating in this webinar from CMC.
Oh yeah, yeah. We were part of an actual. Well, we jumped on a webinar, a free webinar that CMC Markets put out, and it was an ultimate boot camp, basically for beginner traders, and it was pretty good. Like I felt that it was very measured.
Yeah, like I did like it, and it all made sense. And I kind of started looking at their strategies, which was using the SMA indicator, single momentum average or something.
They were using multiple SMAs on different lengths to look at basically trend trading, weren't they?
Yeah, so like starting with SMA 250, 20, and 10.
Yeah, that's right. And they also use the MACD and the RSI, but not to catch reversals.
More to confirm what's been seen anyway, really. And just put on any pair, maybe one of the Euro pairs if you don't.
Euro pairs? So I just throw this in here.
Yeah, try this. I've actually have them all lined up there.
Oh.
So this week I haven't entered any trade, to be honest. Because I was like, okay, well, I just strictly follow their strategy.
Sometimes this happens with the CMC market CFD, where you find that it has a little bit of a moment and kicks you out a couple of times, and then it'll come back on. Oh. Let's see if we can get this rolling. Please wait. Ah, there we go. Okay, mine it later. Okay, so here you can see that you've got the multiple SMAs.
Yeah.
And you've got the MACD and the RSI. And do you mind if I explain what their strategy was?
No, it's alright.
So basically, the CMC market strategy, which was really good, nice to follow for beginners, was if you've got the SMAs and they're fanning out, and you can see a clear trend, that you are trading with the trend, and what you're doing is you're looking for entry points on the pullback. So you want these lines to stay apart, so you can see this kind of range here, and this is where you would look to enter the trade to go up here with the trend. So, and what we were looking for with the MACD and the RSI, that the tops, so you're going clear uptrend, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and you're looking at the tops there was no divergence with the tops.
Yeah.
So, no divergence. When there was convergence, which means that on the actual indicator, this one here, this was topping out here, and then the next high was actually higher than this one. Now you can see here that we actually had did have some kind of divergence with the RSI, it looks. So that's not a great sign. So you can see here on this top, and I might just use a quick draw tool. If we went from, oh, is that drawing? I can't see much. Oh, that's why. We want a trend line, please. And I want that from here to here. So we can see that line coming up. Now with the MACD, we can actually see, ooh, that's actually very flat as well. Not really going the other way.
I think they actually haven't used this trend line. They've just been looking at where it was at the moment.
I think they were definitely looking for divergence though. See how this one's slightly sloping down and the price is going up. So that really wasn't a good sign. They wanted to see that there was convergence, that the RSI was still above 50 and saying that there was selling, like there was buying momentum here in an uptrend, but that there was convergence, basically that the RSI was still making higher momentum moves as this kind of went up. And then you would basically, this would pull back in between a strike range, which was in between the two shortest length SMAs, and then you would be looking for kind of candle indicators to take the trend up. And that was their strategy. And it was pretty good. Like I felt that for a free webinar,
Yeah.
it was really good. And they touched on a couple of things from my point of view as well about good
Trading
risk
psychology.
Yeah, a bit of trading psychology, bit of risk management, money management as well.
Basically all the classics. But
Yeah.
in saying that, I haven't taken a trade because I
This
think
was a past one.
this strategy is kind of like super safe, and it's, I feel like it's very rare because you basically don't take any gamble, and that all the indicators line up. It's just really rare. So, and
You're still interpreting the charts though, aren't you?
yeah, but just using it how it was explained in the videos how I took it is like you look at the swing, ensure it's a clear uptrend or clear downtrend.
Yeah.
Then you put your SMA on, check, and I haven't had any pair that they were actually lined up without any crossings or even in clear upswings or like swings or trends. What do you say, trends? Doesn't matter. And not any pair that have been lined up. So I'm like, okay, I remain really stubborn. I try that. And
That's good, sticking to the
that's
plan.
why I haven't taken any trade. And
I think right now, like we're not seeing too many pairs trend properly though.
yeah, or like an upswing. Yeah, but they go in any direction anyway. So
Yeah.
and even though if you don't have the indicators on, like they have a clear uptrend, and then you turn them on, and then it's like, no, that's not gonna work, because they haven't been lined up at all, and not in any of the pairs. I've been looking through my pairs like New Zealand, Euro, US. Nothing there. So then I actually had a look at gold, silver, palladium, how they
This is why
showed
you're
it to
looking
us.
at metals and stuff, are you?
Yeah, because
Yeah, okay.
they've been mainly using
Do you want to look at any?
No, there is no trend. And then I've also been looking at the popular products, as in US 30 or German 30, and
Well, these are all over the place as well. So the markets
Whatever.
right now, especially like for trend trading, I guess a lot of people are waiting it out. Well, for this type of strategy anyway, because the markets are very erratic. But you can see that things are going sideways in a lot of different markets, and like trend trading's hard. There's not too much volume in a lot of areas as well. People are really waiting to see what happens, which is fine. It's probably, from a lot of the information that I've been going through, has been good. It's like in some kind of way, it's been really, really good to trying to interpret like charts and also trade in this environment, because it's really teaching you, oh, hang on, this is a bad time, and good times will come back around, but there's, you don't know when. So it's interesting anyway. And anyway, this is where we kind of got to this week, that especially for us, we had to really start questioning whether intraday trading especially was really going to work for us, because we probably don't have the like we don't really have the resources or the time to be staying up all night and trying to trade the markets at their most volatile times when the London New York crossover comes. So that's about 11 o'clock to 2 a.m. We've got a double video going on at the moment, it would seem. Got paparazzi inside.
At least her video works.
Yeah, very true. So we might get a second one here. So the old girl on the iPad. God. Sitting in the background, the galley there.
Okay, keep going. Just get it to an end.
Yeah, that's it. Anyway.
Bye.
Yeah. Anyway, we've kind of re-looked at what we're doing because intraday trading wasn't really working for us, and it actually seems, after doing quite a lot of research, that I don't know how well it actually works for the time reward payoff. You know?
At this stage, yeah.
At this stage, especially for a beginner.
I mean, I had a good week because this strategy, even though you have quite a bit of indicator there and a little bit of looking around and fiddling around with setting them, it's real quick. Like it took me, I don't know, 10 minutes a day, and I've actually extended my.
But this wasn't intraday trading. We were like, well, this was the difference.
No, I actually looked at different time frames, like if that actually makes because.
You were looking at intraday. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, like you can apply this strategy in any time frame you want to.
Yeah.
And I've been looking at any time frame because it's like maybe it's just me being really stupid and not seeing the trend or anyway. So I had checked weekly times, and I mean, you check the weekly once, and it's like okay, there's no trade, so you're done. So you don't need to look at this pair this week again.
Yeah,
so
well,
then
weekly's a candle by candle in the
that's what
for
I mean.
1 week. Yeah.
That's why it's really quick for me. Then I took the daily, and I was like, well, if the indicator's crossing over or not crossing over yesterday, well, then I can't use it this week. So I'm like, yeah, no worries. But I felt really weird, so I'm like, started checking smaller time frames, 4 hours and 1 hour, and like it just didn't work out. And then I'm like, oh, okay, I don't know if I follow this strategy or not. I'll be back, or maybe.
Well, this is. I think this is a funny thing that we kind of both found this week was that really the intraday kind of stuff, especially for us as beginners, just is like not really working. And the strategy that we began with, which was us relying on us interpreting charts, especially, and charts are really hard to interpret. Like you're going off feel. And I don't know, I reckon that I was doing lots of research on kind of different philosophies of trading, and this whole thing about going off feel just doesn't seem to work because you're really kind of relying on, I don't know, like some kind of gut instinct or gut feel on charts that like they don't, care about how you feel. They're going to do whatever they're going to do, and I know that like there's lots of like people that have studied it and there's patterns and all that kind of stuff, but it just seemed like, wow, this is a lot of work to kind of get where you were. So anyway, I was happy for one that we're probably going to change up this format. We're still going to do this live stream, but we've kind of taken the focus off being day traders in that definition. So I think we're looking more at kind of long-term forex traders, but the intraday trading and looking at intraday time frames, especially for me, seems a little bit frivolous and unrealistic because a lot of information out there is kind of suggesting that the long-term sustainability of making returns over 30% is almost absolutely unrealistic
for us, just because we kind of want to maintain life and luxury.
Well, the mail I'm getting isn't just for us, it's kind of it's for large amounts of people, that if you're pouring so much time into trading intraday, that in the long term you're not going to get that back anyway, and that you can find a balance, especially trading, the daily time frame and out.
Yeah, it's a little bit like an ungrateful job, but just you can work from home.
Yeah, and looking at those types of returns, we really shifted our focus this week anyway. So, well, yeah, I was really happy that, especially for my kind of psychology thing, that I actually stuck to the plan this week. And even though it was a break-even week, I was glad that I stuck to the plan. Even though halfway through, and I've been doing research every week, that I still stuck it out for this week at least and held that resolve. And this is where kind of things are changing for me anyway, because I am probably looking at a different type of trading instead of looking at swing trading and looking for reversals and intraday trading. I think that what makes sense for me anyway is to be a more of a daily chart trend trader, and that strikes the balance between what we want to do and then launching opportunities from there. It's not as glamorous. It's not as it's definitely not as fun and probably a little bit boring and whatever, but it seems to be realistic, and it seems to be where you get a lot more time back in your life if you actually want to be in this for for the long run.
Mm.
So I went off this week, and a big shout out to Chris Hutton, who I spent some time with this week, and we went over a philosophy that I had kind of come across in my continuous kind of journey through YouTube and resources and all this stuff around Forex trading, especially about 3 weeks ago, and we were really happy that we put this podcast vlog out on this channel, because what it did in return was actually attract very few people that actually came and contacted us and said hey, and wanted to talk about it as well. And Chris was one of these people early on that actually mentioned a few, just kind of pointed me especially towards a type of philosophy that now that I'm delving into is really, really starting to resonate with me specifically. So we're probably going to do a lot of reconfiguration on this. I think we're still going to keep doing the podcast. I'm still committed to doing the podcast. I quite like it. Just to kind of keep us on track, but I'm definitely looking at more long-term Forex trading rather than intraday trading, and I kind of like that. We've been a bit happier kind of in the second half of this week where we've actually been on that journey rather than the other, and can definitely see some light at the end of the tunnel with that if it continues. So I actually downloaded CMC Markets version of MetaTrader 4, which is down here. Let's see where this actually opens up. And so I'm probably going to move away from the CFD, and I'm going to start using MetaTrader 4 because there are quite a few things in that as a tool that will be fairly crucial to what I want to do, and it's going to be fairly indicator heavy, and this is a philosophy that probably a lot of people won't agree with out there anyway, and it's going to be indicator driven as along with trend trading, and it's going to be fairly interesting to see how it goes. I'm still getting a hang of this the MetaTrader 4, but I have been playing around with it, and it's been a lot of fun. Actually, even though it looks like it was done on Windows 95, it moves a lot quicker. Just even moving around here, and it's on your desktop and everything like that. And I'm quite like that. I don't have as many pairs as what I can load up, especially with the demo account of CMC Markets MetaTrader 4 platform. But there's a lot that I'm plugging into it as well, which has been really cool. I've been really enjoying it.
Definitely makes funny noises.
Yeah, it does make some Windows 95 noises as well, and I haven't worked out how to turn that off yet. There's a lot of material that I'm delving into before we actually really start to push this heavily. But I am going to be kind of moving along this as well, and I was really happy to see that CMC Markets had a MetaTrader 4. Lots and lots of people using that, and even across the studies, a lot of people using the MetaTrader 4 rather than the CFD. This is where, again, Ben Kirkby was put us in front of a channel. I forget the guy's channel, but basically it was a young fellow who was an entrepreneur doing drop shipping, and he was messing around with Forex trading, and he was using some bots and stuff like that. Or this is the platform, or this is the MetaTrader 4 is what he was using to be able to run these type of bot scripts, whatever. So that kind of programming is able to be done in this. So yeah, that's it's really interesting. I'm going to move along this line. Have you made up your mind what you're going to do, Sophia? Are you going to stay with the CFD?
Yes, because yeah.
Yeah, so
Just
for now
because.
you're going to stick with the CFD?
Yeah, probably. It's also good to see how you progress and I progress, and then see what makes more sense for us.
Yeah, so we're gonna split this up, and you were pretty happy with the CMC Market. We did this ultimate boot camp with CMC Market. It was a free webinar, and hats off to them. What was the name of the firm that was doing the actual webinar? It wasn't CMC Market. They put it up, but it was something else.
Oh yeah, I can't remember what they were called.
Let me have just a quick look in my resources.
It's just like some, I think not random, but
I forget which one.
they've
it
been
was.
collaborating with some study team.
Trade with Precision.
There you go.
There we go. Gee, I'm glad I write things down. Anyway, it was it was Trade with Precision. So these guys were, that was the guys who did the presentation. This one guy, I didn't know his name, I didn't write that down. But it was really good. And it had some real, in a webinar, it had a lot of really good stuff in it from my point of view. Wasn't completely comprehensive. There's this other resource that I'm going through, No Nonsense Forex, and it is huge. And I am going through it all. And even the unpopular stuff that was on there, which is actually been fantastic. I've really, really enjoyed doing that, and still kind of pushing the limits within my own mind as to the capabilities of it as well. So that's where I really want to get to in that, and push the boundaries of that system as well. It seems to make a lot more sense to me, and I've got probably a bit more of a systematic mind when it comes to that. And if it's process driven, I quite like it. So I think that's how we're going to go ahead. We're going to change up our strategy. I know it's only been 3 weeks, and we said we want to stick to this strategy, and we want to kind of stick it out, but we are still also trying to find our footing as well. And this is really resonating with me, and I think with you a bit more. So we are going to make this change. And we are going to rewrite the trading plan. I'm going to rewrite the trading plan and keep searching on the hunt for this, and do back testing, forward testing, all this kind of stuff. And we're going to proceed this way. So from here on in, I kind of like I do like this way of streaming too. It's I like the kind of blog or the podcast a little bit more. I know that Ben's missing our face, but I'm sure you'll see our face at some time as well, Benny.
Like never.
Oh yeah, Sophia's not giving up anything for free, it would seem.
I love Corona.
Oh, jeez, that's going to be unpopular. All the hate mail that comes in from that one, from all of our viewers.
We are non-existent.
Yeah, it's all right. This is more for us anyway, and I think Ben does enjoy it to some degree, which has been good. So anyway, that was kind of everything that I can really think of saying there's going to be some bigger changes, but I really feel that this is going to be a fairly big turning point in the direction that we want to go, and I'm feeling a lot more of a better foundation, having kind of sifted through all the murkiness, and I haven't sifted through all the murkiness. Like we've just I've come across this thing, and I've been very fortunate to come across this thing. And even though we've got a small amount of people kind of following what we're doing on this, I think there's 10 subscribers. It's still been invaluable to do that, because it's brought this stuff out as well, which has been really good. So, anyway, I think we can probably wrap it up there. Are you happy with that?
Yeah, bye.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Pretty happy with that too. So we will keep streaming. Watch out for the next kind of podcast I think it's going to be. I don't think we're going to do more of our faces. We're not really looking to be YouTube personalities. This is more for us to progress. Yeah, you definitely are. Maybe we'll do a face reveal later on down the track, if people don't watch the stuff buried underneath all of this. Anyway, thanks guys. We will continue to go along this journey and reveal kind of what we're doing as we're going. There's really no secrets. I'm not really kind of looking to reveal any secrets. I'm happy to kind of keep everything out on the table, and people can pull it apart as they like, where people can make comments as they like. It doesn't really bother me. But yeah, stay tuned, and we'll keep going with it. Still point things our way by all means. If you got any questions or any comments or anything, we're all open to it right now. So yeah, throw it in, and we will see you again soon.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye. I'm waving.